Hello, fabulous superstar Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. We do have an active sky playing out right now, and we have got a sky of great promise for you. In fact, I am seeing, I must say, a real sense of ambition and direction, but it takes a little bit of time for it to feel like it's really coming together. But one clue is it comes together through the heart, especially. So let's take it one at a time. The month's new moon is going to take place as we move towards the middle of the month. And this new moon is happening at the very top of your sky. Now, ordinarily, new moons represent a time of new opportunities and brand new beginnings. It's a time really of planting seeds and having faith that they will come to fruition. But here's the thing, this particular new moon is going to be speaking with Neptune. Neptune, of course, in your opposite sign. And as I'm looking at this, I feel like there are going to be a lot of people out there, especially around the middle of the month, who are going to feel as if they have stepped into a Mercury retrograde season. Now it'll likely just be a brief moment, and for you in particular, you're going to want to watch because it's likely going to feel as if it is happening in a part of the sky that has to do with your career, your social standing, your life purpose, your relationships with your bosses and other authority figures, and your sense of ultimately the legacy that you are creating. So as much as it is that there's a sense now of you feeling ready for a fresh start, open for a fresh start and a fresh perspective, at the same time, there may be some things that aren't just so clear yet, and that really is okay. Whether that clarity is around what steps you need to take. Now, whether those steps have to do with you moving towards a fresh start in these areas that I mentioned, or whether it is a sense of what it is that you want to begin. I feel as I look at this that just when you think you know, maybe you don't so much. And because of that Neptune involvement, there may even be some mixed messages as well. So it is important to just observe that and to take things at their own pace. That really is key here. Have your inspiration. Believe in whatever it is that you are desiring to achieve and whatever it is you're hoping for, but also trust the process. And trust those moments when it feels like it's not so clear, knowing that ultimately that means that you are moving towards greater clarity. Of course, as I said, because it'll feel like you've dipped into a Mercury retrograde for a brief moment there, be mindful of how it is you're communicating with bosses and how they're communicating with you. It can be a time when you don't necessarily understand their communications clearly. I would also say with this that, sometimes it is that we go to these people in positions of authority to get their feedback or their direction or whatever, and they give us information based on the best that they know. But this sky suggests that maybe that information, even if your authority figure or your boss, whatever the case may be, even if they are a person who believes what it is that they're telling you, it may be that it's not necessarily accurate information. Now, of course, the case can also be with this that it is possible that you are not being told everything, or your boss can't necessarily be forthright with you, or maybe even giving you information that is not accurate. And that can happen under a sky like this. Now, the great thing is the sky is always moving. And what that suggests is, of course, the clarity always finds us. It does come in its own time. But ultimately, what this sky suggests is don't put too much emphasis on the information you're getting from authority figures, and too much emphasis on even like if you are seeking advice or wondering how it is that you can move yourself forward in a certain career endeavor or further align yourself with life purpose. Don't get too caught up in the details, and any advice that you get now, even if it is with the absolute best of intentions, just know that your path will reveal itself to you in due time, and don't place too much weight on it. I mean, with a sky like this, whether it's advice somebody's giving us or whether it's feedback somebody's giving us, at the end of the day, there is something within you that has to trust your journey. And I do believe that you do. And so allow that to be enough, even when you feel confused by the information or you feel like you're being misled by the information. Bring it back to that sense of connection to self and trusting your own pathway forward. As we move towards the second part of the month, that is when we are going to have a full moon. Now, this full moon is happening in a very powerful part of your sky, a part of the sky that has to do with heart. So this is the metaphorical heart, certainly, like all the things that your heart desires for every area of your life. However, this particular full moon is happening hand in hand with Saturn. Now, if you think back to the Saturn special that I did, and of course, that's on YouTube as well, when I did the whole overview and the previews and everything, and you can access that on YouTube. Well, I remember telling you about how Saturn likes to be in his own sign. This is Saturn's home sign, which means that Saturn's able to bring forward his best qualities in this area of the sky. Now, having a full moon meeting Saturn is ultimately about earned rewards. It is a fruition, but it is one whose time has come, where you have put in the time and put in the effort. And there's also a sense of acceptance at this time as well. So if you are using this energy in terms of wanting to manifest something, a project, a passion, a creative endeavor near and dear to your heart, well, how ready you are for that is going to show up at this time. Is there more work to do? Well, that'll show up at this time as well. But if you truly are ready, you've put in the work, you've put in the time, then this can absolutely be a time of rewards. See, that's the thing. Saturn does deliver rewards, tangible rewards at that. It helps you to manifest great things in the physical realm, in your reality and in your life. However, you have to put in the work and trust the process that will get you there. And so given that this is a full moon, which represents culminations and fruitions, well, this can be a time where creative endeavors do pay off, especially if it's something that you've been putting energy into for a while and you truly are prepared and ready for the moment. Put your doubts aside. Your life will show you where you are. And if the Saturn is anything, it is honest, and it will show you more fully where it is you are, how you feel about it, and where it is now that you are ready to reap, and where it is that there's more work to do. And that's part of life, and that is part of the fun. This part of the sky also has to do with things like children. And whether it's children you want or children that you have, this can be a time that those areas come into focus as well. And there is a desire to further understand where you are, what it is you want, and where it is ultimately that you are moving towards, whether it is in terms of your relationship with your children and how well it is that you are facilitating their growth and they are facilitating yours, whether it is children you want or realize that you don't want. If Saturn on a full moon is anything, it is real and it is honest as well. At the same time, though, do keep in mind that, look, Mars is going to go retro this month, right on the 26th of June, give or take a day or so, depending on where you are on the planet, but right around that time and just days before the full moon is going to be when Mars officially goes retro. And as we move forward into the month of August and September, well, Mars is going to dip back into the same part of the sky that this full moon is taking place. And so as much as there is a certain finality to this full moon, at the same time, there may be more information, more motivation, and more of an effort to have things go in a way that you desire and figuring out your best way forward still. There's always more work to do. There's always more to learn. And there's always opportunities to make progress. And just when you think you know, well, the universe can come back around to you and say, hey, have you considered this? And that ultimately allows you to move towards your goals. This part of the sky is also connected to flirtation and romance and love. Of course, if we're talking about heart, we have to talk about love. And this full moon, if anything, will show you where you are in love. Now, if you are open to meeting someone new, this is the kind of energy that can bring someone into your sphere. But the thing is, with Saturn there's a desire to take a measured approach and to think more long term. And there tends to be a sense of holding back a little bit. Now, if that connection is right for you, then that should be okay. But ultimately, what this sky is meant to do is show you how you feel about the love that is available to you and where it is that maybe you are ready to get more serious when it comes to matters of love and heart. You know, the thing is, and I spoke about this in the Saturn special for your sign, and again, that preview and that whole overview is on my YouTube channel as well. But you may remember that I said, you know, this tends to represent a time when you realize where you are in love and where the work is, and you're more motivated to do the work because you understand some of your most important learning is going to happen by focusing on matters of heart. And if you are someone who wants love in your life, well, it is Saturn here that encourages you to actually do the work. And that tends to involve putting yourself out there, taking chances, believing in yourself, following your passions, trusting your instincts. These are all a part of welcoming love into our life. Well, at this full moon, these very lessons will be emphasized for you. The desire to connect with others will lead you on a path, very likely to wanting to do something fun where you actually have those opportunities to connect with others. And see, remember, with Saturn, it is the earned rewards, and it is very possible that part of that earned reward is that you connect with somebody in a meaningful way. For those of you who are in an established bond, this can be a powerful time of nurturing the love that you have and seeing your partner with a lens of commitment and wanting that sense of a deeper commitment as well. In fact, I do think that this is the kind of sky where words can be expressed, or rather expressions of the heart can come forward that help you to solidify that bond. For a very small percentage of you out there, you know, if you really know that you're not in the right relationship for you, then this is the kind of full moon that's going to bring that to the surface and is going to make that more abundantly clear to you. But at the same time, there is faith. That's the thing that people don't often remember with Saturn is Saturn represents real faith. You know, there's a phrase that says faith without works is dead. Well, you know, that can be controversial to some people because some people say, no, like you alone are enough. That is more than enough to cultivate the riches of faith. But others would say that, no, actually, when you have faith, there are certain actions you take in support of that. Now, I think that it tends to be a bit of a balance, and there are times in life that ask us to take action in support of our faith. And so if you are someone and you know that you are in not the right relationship for you, then this is the kind of full moon that is going to ask you to be more honest with yourself about that, and honest with yourself about how you feel about the options in love that you have. Do you have faith that there is love in the world for you? Well, with Saturn here, you will be encouraged to cultivate an authentic faith for yourself. And that is part of what I love about this month for you. I just love that there is this sense of moving towards heart as you move through this month. In the early part of the month, with this full moon at the very top of your sky, well, there tends to be a sense with this that is very aspirational, but at the same time, feeling a little bit uncertain if that aspiration is warranted or even grounded. And then we get you to the later part of the month, and there is grounding there in the best possible sense. Well, that grounding comes by connecting to yourself and your truest desires. And once you clarify that, the pathway towards them becomes that much easier. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this every week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes every single week and unlimited access to special horoscopes and so much more. Mars special horoscopes are in the superstar space and on my website, nadiyashah.com as well. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.